My name is Chris Wark. I'm a 20-year colon cancer survivor. I'm an author, speaker, health coach. My cancer diagnosis completely changed the course of my life. My life is so much better now, having gone through cancer, than I can imagine it ever would have been had I not had the disease. I was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer at 26 years old. It was a total shock to me, to my family. I had no idea what cancer was. I'd never really seen anyone go through cancer. I didn't know what treatments were like. My doctor told me after I was diagnosed I needed to have surgery right away. And so I went into the hospital, took out the tumor. When I woke up, they said, "It's worse than we thought. You're stage 3, and you're going to need 9 to 12 months of chemotherapy." Poisoning my way back to health didn't make sense to me. I made a decision that was a radical decision at the time, and still is considered a radical decision today, to take control of my life and my health and to do everything in my power to help myself heal. And I decided not to do chemotherapy. That decision was met with quite a bit of consternation and opposition from doctors and from people around me who cared about me, but at that time thought I was making a huge mistake. I knew that the holistic path was the path that I had to take, that I could help myself heal. And as I began to read and research, I found survivor stories like those of Jason Winters, people who had overcome cancer naturally with a holistic, radical, life-changing approach. And I was so inspired to know that people were alive and thriving through cancer, that it didn't have to be a death sentence, and that the body creates cancer and the body can heal it. The doctors never talk about healing the disease. When I learned that people had healed cancer, that's what I realized I wanted to do. I stopped eating animal food, processed food, junk food, fast food, restaurant food, opted to eat a diet that was exclusively raw fruits and vegetables, all organic, started juicing, found a naturopathic doctor and an integrative oncologist, and flood my body with as many raw materials, vitamins, minerals, enzymes, antioxidants, and all these wonderful anti-cancer compounds that are found in fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, herbs and spices, in food from the earth. Let my body use what it needed. Just took care of myself in a way that I never had before. Over time, my health improved. I just got better and stronger and more energy and more optimistic and more hopeful. The people around me started to come around to believe that I was not a quack. 5 years later, was still cancer-free. I went through this incredible journey and I realized what I've learned I have to share. I can't just bury my story. As much as I wanted to move on from cancer and never talk about it again, I had a responsibility to share what I've learned, because I knew that there were people out there in the world that needed help, that needed hope. I mean, Jason's story and my story have so many common threads. We both took this radical approach to health and healing. We both changed our lives. We both, pursued all of the holistic therapies that we could find and afford. So the foundational approach that I took to heal is the same as Jason. And there's a lot of valuable data that really needs to be organized and evaluated to understand what it is that we're doing that is causing cancer, that needs to be stopped, and what people are doing to heal. I actually first heard about Jason Winters because my mom had his book, Killing Cancer, that she had bought back in the 80s on alternative medicine and holistic healing and natural therapies. And one of those books was the Jason Winters story, Killing Cancer. I was reading as much as I could, learn from other people who had survived and healed. And so when I read Jason's story, it just lit me up. I mean, I was so excited. Not only was he resonating with me, and his message was just speaking right into my soul, right? He was just confirming the things that I believed to be true. It gave me a lot of hope and encouragement, and then got me excited about herbs and about drinking the Jason Winters tea, which I had never heard of. There were a lot of people in my mom's era that heard about him, read his book, it sold millions of copies, drank Jason Winters tea at some point, but it had kind of fallen out of the public awareness. And so for me, finding Jason Winters tea in my cancer journey was a highlight. It just excited me and gave me even more hope and optimism, and another tool. When I decided to opt out of chemotherapy, there was really only one person in my life who understood and supported me, and that was my mom. I have a lot of other family members and friends that didn't understand. They loved me, they wanted me to survive, they didn't want me to die, and they didn't want me to make what they perceived was a huge, foolish mistake. They started to realize that healing is possible, that your daily choices, fruits and vegetables, your diet, your lifestyle choices, exercise, all these things really do contribute to health or disease. If you're in the middle of a cancer journey or a health healing journey, you really can't worry about what other people think about what you're doing. You just have to set that aside and focus on yourself. Don't try to evangelize and convince anyone. Just take care of yourself in a way that you never have before. And let the results speak for themselves. When you get well, when you overcome a disease like cancer or heart disease or diabetes or MS, using a holistic approach, people will want to know what you did, and they will come to you, and that's your opportunity to help them. Eating organic is the best. It's not an option for everyone, but you are dramatically eliminating your exposure to highly toxic pesticides, fungicides, herbicides, and all kinds of things that they spray on commercially grown crops. Reducing your toxic load or your toxic exposure as much as possible is a good thing. If you can't get all organic, that's okay. Just eat as much organic, non-processed food as possible. Jason Winters was a pioneer in the holistic health movement, in the self-care, self-healing, patient heal thyself movement. It couldn't be more simple. It's just that a lot of people don't want to do it. Right? And eating a whole food, plant-based diet and exercising and managing your stress and having a strong faith and strong friendships are a recipe for health and longevity. That's the message. It's spreading around the world, it's growing, and it's just really exciting to see. I never had the opportunity to meet Sir Jason Winters, but if I did, if he was still alive today, I wouldn't just want to hang out with him. I would probably say, can I follow you around the world? Like, I would try to spend as much time as I could with him, to learn from him, to pick his brain, just to see the influence that he's had around the world. And he's just such a legendary figure and incredible influence in the lives of so many people, and especially in my life, and a huge encouragement to me. And so there are a lot of details, about his life that I'd love to know from him firsthand. And so, yeah, it would be really fun to have gotten to meet him. I think it's really important, and I'm really excited that Jason Winters' story is being told, because there's a whole generation, actually several generations of people that have no idea who he was, what he did, that he had this remarkable cancer healing story, and that he has helped so many others. And so it's really a thrill and an honor just to be a part of celebrating his life and his story and sharing it with the world. And we just want to get the whole world drinking Jason Winters tea.